Hello, I'm Kaya McTeague, and this is my Semester 2 PoL. I'm a 15-year-old girl who seemed like an ordinary girl, only she wasn't. She was actually a superhero in hiding. Her name was Kaya McTeague. Kaya was like every other 15-year-old. Went to school, went to the beach, lived with her parents and 2 brothers, and even liked to shop. The only thing was, when the world called for her help, she was there in an instant.
However, it wasn't always that way. It was the challenging events she had to overcome to be the superhero she is today.
First events that she really conquered was creating the iMovie. In the beginning, she was very nervous because she had no idea the power she was up against. She had never used iMovie before and honestly was not looking forward to it, but she knew part of being a superhero was taking the opportunity when it's thrown at her. When that day arrived, Kaya thought long and hard with iMovie. She hit it with her semi-technology skills, but it kept throwing hidden punches at her. She could not figure out how to time her moves right. She quickly came up with a solution called the internet. She Googled what her obstacles were and where and how to overcome them. Okay, so after realizing how to do that, she quickly gained her power over iMovie and completed her task. It was difficult, but that showed her not to give up, and these skills are really important because she can use them in the future, and it taught her how to make presentations more creative, and it gave her a fun way to get the messages across. iMovie is a very good way to present things because it is more exciting.
Another event that really brought my attention to her was the building challenge. In order to save the world, she had to know how to build something. It was her duty to make sure she was prepared for anything, and she would not let anything get in her way.
Her first take on building, she got very frustrated. She could not figure out how to use the tools. On top of that, there were so many she didn't know where to start. First, she had to figure out how to use the drill. Then she had to figure out how to use the driver. Even though she was a superhero, doesn't mean she's any less girly. And let me tell you, girls do not know how to use tools, let alone build a table. After that, she figured out how to build her table. She even did a scale drawing and mapped out the whole thing. When she finished, it was a little off balance, but she was proud she got the basics down. Okay. Even though this took a lot of time and effort, she accomplished her mission, and that's really all that matters. Knowing how to build can be very useful and handy for future disasters. It will also help because she can be more independent if something happens and she needs to use tools to build. She will be more comfortable.
Now, I know what you're thinking. Building an iMovie isn't exactly the skills you think you need to save the world. However, the skills I'm about to tell you are irreplaceable. These skills will not only blow your mind, but they will show you why you're so important and why you need them for the future. The first life-changing experience is what I like to call problem solving. Not only should everyone know how to do this, but it is crucial Kaya knows. After all, she is saving the world. She needs to know how to build and be able to stay calm when something goes wrong, and come up with fast and effective solutions.
For example, while she was working on figuring out how to prove to the world the importance of being self-sustainable, her system collapsed. All the water in the bins that helped hydrate the plants was overflowing. The bins inside the table were falling through the sides. For a second, she felt...
Just rewind it a little bit. Yeah.
What?
Like you did last time, pull it back so let it see the gray part.
Yeah. The bins inside the table were falling through the sides. For a second, she felt.
Should we just let
The bins inside the table. So, okay. So what happened in this was the bins inside the table, they started to fall through the sides, and because the bins were not strong enough, they could not hold all the water inside. So what happened was we kind of started to freak out and panic. And what I learned from this experience is rather than just freaking out and panicking and basically freaking out, you should just carry on and think of a fast and effective solution, because if you just stay calm, a solution will come quicker and you won't waste as much time complaining on what should happen instead of what you can improve on. And it still hasn't moved. Okay. So I'll just move to the next item. Another one of my favorite events that happened through this year was accomplishing the cooking class at KCC. From this, Kaya learned planning, drafting, and revising. This was very important because in the event we made many mistakes, but it was good because we learned from all the mistakes. So in this cooking workshop, some of the heroes and her friends teamed up and were on a mission to use the food they grew and incorporate it into their cooking. They thought that if they could save the world, they could cook, but unfortunately they were wrong. Cooking was actually a lot harder than it seemed, and they had to find a recipe that incorporated growing foods to make sure it was healthy, because you can't save the world eating donuts all day. Once her and her team of highly intelligent heroes finished that, they decided to take a task chart so they could know all their duties in the cooking. But once they got to the cooking place, they realized that they were actually not prepared at all, and so what they did is they went back and redid their whole task chart, and they realized that they needed to put more effort into it, because it really is a lot harder than it seems. So, however, they did not, So once they did that and they went back and redid their task chart, their cooking was actually very good. They were very grateful that they had this experience and learned the importance of planning and drafting and revising, because without it, they would not be the same today. This is such a critical skill because when presenting work to people, it's your responsibility to make sure you have the best work. Okay. So finally, the most important message Kaya wants me to inform you of here in this lovely day is the importance of time management. The reason why I saved this one for last is because you can have all the skills that I just talked about, but they will mean nothing if you don't manage your time. So this event really provided Kaya with the test challenge as a part of her training, and it really finished off the year with a home run, and this event was called Animal Farm. So Animal Farm was not the most fun or exciting event that she did all year, but mainly because it was such a big project, and it was a lot of writing and thinking, and you had to really put your thoughts together and think about really what you learned. And it was a lot of writing, and I'm not a big fan of just sitting there writing, but it was a good experience because we had a lot of deadlines, so we really had to make sure that we were on top of things, and luckily I was on top of things, so I was able to finish and complete my project thoroughly. Well, I'm sorry, but that is all the time I have for today. Sorry my presentation didn't work out, but that's all a part of the learning experience. So thank you so much, and I hope you learned a lot from Kaya's journey throughout this year, because I sure did.
Questions for Kaya, anyone? Kaya, what was the most challenging part of creating your PoL?
I'd say the whiteboard part, or maybe the artifacts too. It was hard choosing the artifacts because there were so many different things we learned, and there were so many different factors that I could have put in. But I did my best to try and choose like the strongest ones, but the whiteboard part was also really hard. So I'm kind of glad you guys didn't even see that, but it's okay.
No, it's great. Thank you. Okay, thank you, Kaya.